Hi everyone, welcome to my presentation. After 3 months, we're doing the pre-research report and recommendation report. Today, my presentation gonna focus on summarize the recommendation report. So, Steven said, it doesn't make sense to hire these smart people and tell them what to do. We hire these smart people so they can tell us what to do. So we believe that we are smart enough to give Qantas the finance strategy and good recommendation, so we can help Qantas achieve what Qantas desire. So let's start my presentation. So my presentation includes 6 big points: objective of the project and recommendation, key finding, overview of the presentation, recommendation, summary, and the bottom line and call to action. So we move to the first point, objective of the project and the brand presentation. So firstly, we're gonna discover the objective of the project. So the objective of the project is establish the new 1, 2, 3 route, innovative and market leading with the strategy partnership and secure partners that are most likely to able to deliver significant, measurable and sustainable customer increase. Qantas must recognize that to be effective and partnership need to be win-win. And the objective of the presentation, the purpose of the presentation is to summarize the recommendation report, identify the most important part of a business problem or opportunity, and apply the range of problem-solving skill, collaborate with multiple stakeholders on the significant managing to completion, develop the high level of client orientation and professionalism, formulate and communicate effective and innovative solution and recommendation to the business problem or opportunity, reflect on entire business consultancy experience. So we move to the second point, is the key finding. In our project, we have 3 key findings. So the first one is the Rottnest Island is located offshore from Perth, Western Australia. Over the last year, Rottnest Island's tourism had increased by 15%, with a total 770,000 visiting island. This is excellent option for a new destination route for Qantas. No competitor of Qantas had explored this route, and the possibility of large financial return from doing this. Secondly is in 2018, New South Wales saw over 11 million domestic tourists. Broken Hills is the regional town in far west of New South Wales. Broken Hills is the town that is renowned for its mining and natural history, and for being the Australia first World Heritage City listing in Outback, New South Wales. And lastly is after we conduct a SWOT, we find out the amount of money that tourism had brought into the industry, very big. And the team also narrowed down the partnership that we recommend to Qantas, which were TripAdvisor, Australian Regional Tourism, Airbnb, and Google. And next, we're gonna discover the overview of the presentation. So So we're gonna find out the stakeholder and data sources first. So in our project, we have 6 stakeholders. The firstly Qantas, secondly TripAdvisor, thirdly Mantra Group, fourth is Airbnb, Google, and Australian Regional Tourism. So for the data source, in our project, we use the secondary information. The data source used were able to assist the team in developing the recommendation. By using the resource, we can figure out whom the target market that we need to appeal to with this new destination route. At least we allow Qantas to maximum their profit going forward. And when providing different destinations to Qantas, there is the background information that need to be taken into account. And now we're gonna discover the innovative solution to the client brief. So the use of relevant theory had been able to assist the team in developing an effective and innovative solution according to the client brief. By using the traditional brainstorming to develop different solutions, the coupler 5 stages in the creative process. And when our team analyze and doing project, we also follow 5 points: preparation, effort, incubation, insight, and evaluation. So next, we're gonna discover the opportunity of Qantas and the problem or issue that Qantas face. So in this project, we find out 5 opportunities of Qantas. The first opportunity is New South Wales attracts the most travelers, followed that is Queensland and Victoria. The citizens from Queensland as well as Western Australia frequently use their country location as their final destination. The opportunity two is one that could build and grow the market share by shaping this travel destination choice and tools promotion. Qantas at the way exploring this often remote and outback location. Qantas could compete by promoting the brand based on the destination and associating this strategic partner here. Opportunity 3 is Australia had an unusual migrant population growth of 3% per year, including temporary and permanent migrant. This will be a new potential Qantas passenger, along with a growth in the number of inbound and international customers. So the opportunity 4 is potential customer at the age of 25 to 40 years old. About 2 million people traveled at least once in Australia for a business reason in 2018, with the total number of trips for the entire business purpose of more than 10 million, with an average of 1 business trip per 10 workers. And the last opportunities we find out is the Gen X is the group of customers with the highest number of flight passengers, 2.31 million from 2.04 million millennial and 1.96 million baby boomer in 2017. Also, half of the Gen X 47 flow through a domestic air flight. Gen X travel behavior is most based on the online through the travel platform, sharing and referral platform like TripAdvisor. And we also find out two problems that Qantas face. The first problem is the focus of the oil industry is exceptionally high, so carrier organizations just have a couple of suppliers to pick. Well, the oil is one of the most basic material for the aircraft organization. Therefore, one of the pressure that Qantas had come from the supplier with the problem of limited supply. The second problem is Qantas currently has a majority of the customer age from 25 to 40, consistent with its two largest segment, family and the business class. There is also the main segment of the social income creation, but has not yet reached the highest income level. And in the effective communication, why each recommendation is how and how it will contribute to this solving the problem or opportunity. So firstly, create the creative marketing strategy focus on the family and professional customer segment. Qantas Airlines is the active contract and maintain relationship with the business owner, especially foreign business that had high demand for this travel. By the way, kindly communicate and marketing via email, marketing call or mail in the name of promoting the image of Qantas with the interesting information. And a tactic that help Qantas attract the attention of the business owner can be the price strategy. Qantas industry should be offer discount to its business regular customer one trip on the half price ticket. Opportunity to those business people willing to travel at least 3 times a year for the business purpose. If Qantas choose the competition based on pricing, this could potentially have the negative issue associated with the marketing campaign that may affect on the brand image and this target customer segment, especially the business owner, who is a group of the people pay too much attention on the price. Instead of focus on the pricing strategy, Qantas Airlines should focus on increase the provided value as well as increase the customer experience. And for the open more domestic routes to the special location, according to Commonwealth Bank, New South Wales has been the top performance state for just over 3 years, with the latest data show its secure top ranking across 5 of the 8 indicator: retail trade, dealing store, equipment investment, construction work, and unemployment. Victoria has again come in as the second best performance state, after it was one more supported by the faster annual population growth, followed by the ACT with its unusual employment growth and its strongest in over the decade. So Qantas could open more domestic routes in those cities where get the most business owner and workers live and work there. So now we I'm gonna show you some of the table that give you some idea about the project management timeline, scope, resource required, and budget. So this is the project management for the first recommendation. Creative marketing strategy focus on the family and professional customer segment. And this is the project management for the second recommendation. Open more the domestic route to the vessel location segment. And this one is the task sheet. And this one is the risk register. And also Qantas have some of the limitation like time constraints, scope constraints, or code constraints. And this is the communication plan. And now we're gonna move to the next point, recommendation. Domestic and international. So the research indicates that the international flight rate for the business purpose is still lower than the passenger segment, with about 600,000 passengers per year. 55% make a business trip by the air outside Australia, 23.8% two trip, and 9.2% three or more trips. According to this result, it's recommend that the new strategy of the marketing on both sides, international and domestic, are most exceptional element. The spotlight on how the national travel and the travel industry specialists can showcase a nation as the traveler go, with the specific reference to the promoting of the New Zealand and Australia to focus on advertising in the United Kingdom and Germany. There are two countries in Europe are the most significant visitor producing national for the New Zealand and Australia. There have been ongoing generous increment in the estimation of the universal travel and the travel industry incomes and promising future possibility. And the second thing is the popular tourism location. New South Wales, Victoria, and Queensland are the states that attract the most domestic travelers. Therefore, the Qantas industry must make the partnership with Australian tourism industry to encourage the tourists to travel by Qantas Airways. This partnership will inspire the major of people to travel by Qantas Airways. However, Qantas industry needs to make a discount on its ticket, half price return, and offer one night free accommodation to its loyal customer. Any client will travel to selected special location below. The client ticket has to be discounted, and also one night free accommodation had to be provided. I strongly believe that this tactic may attract many people as possible by travel by Qantas aircraft. The Australia Tourism Department and Australia Industry Manager must work together and debate the way they should make the partnership arrangement between them to promise each other. Qantas Airways will be accountable for the transportation of the domestic tourists. For example, anyone will travel by Qantas Airways for the touring any of those selected locations will benefit a half-price ticket for return include one night free accommodation. This special offer should be advised via on the social media such as television, radio, and via the Qantas industry website. And for the Australia Immigration Transportation, the outcome of the research indicate that Australia had population growth of migrants at 3% per year, including temporary and permanent migrants. Those who use the service of Qantas or the partner airline approach Australia. This migration creates a new potential customer for Qantas, include an increase in the number of customers using the import and international. Qantas industry need this opportunity to transport the new migrant come to Australia. In this case, it's a recommendation that the Qantas industry had to make the deal and sign a partnership agreement with the Department of Immigration of Australia to cooperate together. For the Qantas industry marketing, by and large showcase producer was driving by the making a need to keep moving about the making a trip to go. For example, New Zealand and Australia, both German and UK market, demonstrate an expanding enthusiasm for the New Zealand and Australia advertising system were centered around affecting market by coordinating with the delegate and upgrade their degree of instruction, expand the guest length of remain, then underscoring the goal, spotless and safe condition and their central symbol and attraction. Essentially, promoting system were generally accomplished through core usable television and strategic public sizing in the two markets. In the principle, appropriation technique were described by the strategic grocery with the significant wholesaler and Pacific Trip specialist in the commercial center for those regularly make the finance accessible and could assist the change the market in the Germany and UK. For the relationship purpose, the purpose of relationship marketing is to assemble client devotion so as to get the client esteem through the building the long haul connection. More design are recognize the impact of advancement on the client steadfastness in the aircraft business to investigate the connect between the special source and client unwaveringness in regard of relationship quality, to give a few rules to executing an advancement as far as relationship advertising in the carrier business. All the things considered, the advancement make the genus client Steve Furness for the organization and increment the deal in the brief time frame. In 2018, with the total number of trips for the entire business purpose of more than 10 million, with the average of one business trip per 10 workers, in the case Qantas industry must engage with the business people and explain them about the benefit of traveling with Qantas Airlines, such as a special deal had for research found that Qantas currently had major of the customer age 25 to 40 consistently with its two large segment, family and business class. According to current situation, this marketing will be targeted on the youngest people, including students. The Qantas industry requires creating new strategy of the marketing, especially for the youngest people and the students who are willing to travel internationally and domestic on the holiday. The Qantas industry had to design a student special card called Student Qantas Fly Card with the cost of lower price, and this new program may attract many young people to travel by Qantas Airways. This Qantas industry marketing program will strongly be targeting on the youngest people, especially students. For the promotion strategy, marketing tactics are most relevant took in the business that will enhance sales in the short term. For example, social media, website, television, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook pages are rapidly took for advertising or promote the products, goods, and service. As the result of the research from the phase 1 had discovered that the social media marketing transmit the advantage of low cost, rapid spread through the wide community. Weakness include the blind authorship, lack of resource, citation, and presentation of the view as fact. And for the Qantas industry accommodation, the Qantas industry don't have its accommodation and inner across the nation of Australia, and because of the number of domestic travelers each year, SAD endorses that the Qantas industry require to have or build its accommodation and hotel known as the Qantas Town Village across the Australia and New Zealand to be capable to accommodate its loyal customer. Also, according to the Australia demographic and the number of travelers, the Qantas industry had to allocate those cheapest accommodation, especially in New South Wales, Victoria, and Queensland. This system should attract more people as possible to travel by the Qantas Airways. Many Australian young people and local students don't want to travel on the holiday because many hotels in 2-3 states mentioned above are very costly, and the main majority of the customer behavior is to spend a small amount where they determine this traveling on the holiday and for the business purpose. And now we're gonna move to the next point, the summary. So in the summary of my presentation, I find out 6 main points. The first point is the Brosnan Island is located of the offshore from Perth, Western Australia, and Broken Hills, a regional town in far west of New South Wales, are the 2 reasons that Qantas should focus on. And the second is a TripAdvisor, Australia Regional Tourism, Airbnb, Google are the potential partner for Qantas. New South Wales, Victoria, Queensland are three states with fastest economic growth. It means many business owners and workers live and work in there. Therefore, Qantas should open more domestic routes in those states because their current target customer live most in those three states. And fourth, it limited oil supplier time, scope, and cost could be the barrier for Qantas in this project. Established relationship with the Australia Tourism Department and Department of Immigration of Australia will bring a huge profit for Qantas and help Qantas increase the market share. And 6 is using the competition pricing strategy is a good way to expand the target customer and increase the market share. However, it could be the potential have negative issue associated with the marketing campaign that may affect on the brand image and this current target customer segment, especially for the business owner. So the last point is the bottom line and call to action. For this project, we had researched and analyzed for 3 months to figure out the finance project for Qantas, and the project could bring approximately 600,000 passengers for Qantas. If any unexpected situation happen, our team will always here to willing to help Qantas find the solution to adapt or overcome. So if you need more time to do the research or you still thinking you're not ready yet, so can I ask you a question? What would it take for you and I to do the business today? And how about support to I give you some testimonial from our private client? Would that help? So it's always seemed possible until then. Let's move forward together. Thank you for listening. If any question, please contact with me.